Hey guys, it's Britt, and I am going to do a film review for you guys, just because I want to talk about it. The film I'm gonna be talking about today is Plastic. It came out in 2014, and it's one of those films that is just like, eh. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Most of the fault is in the writing itself, so let me read off to you the official plot synopsis so we can get that out of the way. Okay. Based on a true story, which I'm going to say probably very loosely based, a group of British university students were running a successful credit card scam. They make a very powerful enemy by stealing from the wrong man's briefcase and are forced to enlist the help of Frankie, who works for a credit card company. The group of five then go to try and rack up £2 million to pay off their debt, but fall short during a night of strippers and champagne. To make up for the money they still need, they plan a diamond heist. Yeah, it's that kind of movie. So the main group of guys, there's Sam, 40, Yatesy, Raph, uh, four. So there's Sam, 40, Yatesy, and Rafa, and Frankie is the love interest slash credit card person who works at this credit card company. Sam is played by Ed Spielers. 40 is played by Will Porter. Yatesy is played by Alfie Allen, and Sebastian de Souza is Rafa. And sorry if you hear my mom coughing; she's sick. But yeah, it's it's not very good. It tries to be Catch Me If You Can, like I guess in a way in the modern day, which is an action slash thriller. I suppose it's based off a book about this man who basically essentially does the same thing. He just impersonates a bunch of people. And it it's it's not it doesn't do a very good job. Um the cast, for what it's worth, did a good job with what they were given. They weren't given much. The characters themselves were very by the book characters, at least in my opinion. Sam probably has the most morals out of all of them. He just wants to pay off his student loans. 40 works in a store. I'm not sure what type of store it is exactly. It seems to be a tech store, but he also sold this guy a pair of jeans in the beginning of the film, so I guess it's a tech store that also sells jeans. Maybe he works at, like, the equivalent to, like, Walmart or something, but, that's not made very clear. Yatesy, it seems that he doesn't do anything. He's just an asshole. And Rafa works in a petrol station or a gas station. He's a clerk. Yeah. And so, like, they have all this designer clothing, and Frankie kind of calls them all out on it, like, because they go to this party in the beginning, and they run into Frankie, and Yatesy kind of tries to hit on her, but it doesn't work out, and um, and Frankie, says, "You guys have all this money, but like you guys work like minimum wage jobs. How do you get this money?" And Sam says, "Oh, we're entrepreneurs," and you can kind of tell that she doesn't believe that, but she kind of goes along with it anyway. And so when Yatesy and Rafa steal from the wrong dude, and blackmail the wrong person, they get stuck with this $2 million debt, or they are going to be dragged off into the woods and murdered and then buried there by their, I guess you could call them an employer, Marcel, who is played by Thomas Kretschmann. I butchered that. I apologize, but he was a decent villain. But I think the main villain that we're supposed to like really hate, and they really try to drive it home throughout the entire film, is Yatesy. Yatesy is not a good person. I guess he's constantly like doing coke. At this same party where they do where they meet Frankie. They're playing poker. Yatesy's snorting coke, and it kind of tries to be a subplot where it's like really trying to hammer home that Yatesy just is desperate and needs to buy drugs like all the time, and that's kind of why he's a part of this group. And I guess it kind of explains his douchebaggery, but we're not given really enough of any of the characters to really get emotionally invested in them. So when stuff starts happening, it's difficult to really care all that much. The plot really starts to take off about maybe 40 minutes into the movie when Yatesy goes to the strip club with Rafa and 40, and Yatesy uses one of the credit cards that they stole that is worth $1.5 million. So Yatesy just happened to take one of the, like, he went into Sam's wallet and stole the card before he went to the club. Sam was like, you know what, you guys can like run around in LA, because they go to LA to pull off this diamond heist. And he says, okay, you guys can go, but only use cash. And of course, Yatesy doesn't have any cash on him, so he uses the card, and the card gets declined because it doesn't match the spender's spending habit. The biggest red flag is the fact that Yatesy didn't bother to check the character profiles that enlists all their spending habits. And it turns out that the card that is worth $1.5 million, or pounds, not dollars, is owned by a gay man. So when they went to a female strip club and tried to buy champagne, because I guess Yatesy was trying to keep it classy by buying champagne and not beers or whatnot. Yeah, the card gets declined and held, and they lose 1.5 million pounds. And everybody gets really pissed at Yatesy, rightfully so, because if they don't get this money in 2 weeks, they are going to die. Like, it is unquestionable. They will die if they do not get this money. And yeah, if you want to know the rest of the film, like what happens, you're gonna have to watch it for yourselves because I don't want to give it away. It would have been better if the writing was better, if the characters were a little bit more fleshed out. They're very one-dimensional, and it had potential. It had a lot of potential, especially with a cast with people like Alfie Allen, Emco Porter, and Ed Spielers, who are pretty decent actors. Like all of these cast members are fairly well known in at least the UK, and it was disappointing, to be honest, but it's worth watching at least once, if only because it's so funny. Like, it's one of those films that takes itself too seriously, and so you almost can't help but laugh because the plot is absolutely unbelievable. And the ending is also a little bit confusing. So if you do watch this movie and kind of get what happens at the end, please go into my Twitter DMs and tell me, because I was very confused. But anyway, guys, that is my rambly review of Plastic. My overall thoughts is, it's okay. I think a lot of people make it out to be a lot worse than it is. Like, especially the reviews on Amazon, people were really, really mad about how poorly done this film was. It wasn't that special effects or anything were poorly done, because they were executed very well, especially given the budget that they were given. But it just, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't awful. It was just, it was okay. I'd watch it again with friends just to show them, get their opinions, and whatnot. And it's like I said, it's funny. That in and of itself, I think, is worth at least a rent. Watch it once. Let me know what you think. And until next time, guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.